You know, the word assume really gets a bad rap. You know, maybe you've saw on The Odd Couple where Felix points out in a courtroom that assume means to make an ass of you and me. And so we dismiss the word. But we're really missing out because it can be a powerful word. So, you know, it's got two meanings. One, you know, deciding that something is true, that even without proof. Or two, to take responsibility, to take control, take power. So let's use this word. So taking full responsibility for your own well-being. I choose to assume that things are great. And I choose to love and accept myself. I choose to assume that things are great. And I choose to love and honor myself. I choose to assume that things are great. I choose to assume that things are wonderful. Because that feels a whole lot better than the alternative. I choose to assume that things are great. And I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And all these other people about whom I've been making assumptions. I choose to assume that things are great. I choose to assume that things are wonderful. I choose to assume that things are working out for me. I choose to assume that I'm going to get what I want. I choose to assume that people love me. I choose to assume that people think well of me. And then part of me says that when I assume, I make an ass of you and me. So I shouldn't assume that things are good. But here's the catch. Way too often, I'm assuming that things are terrible. I'm assuming bad things about what people think of me. So I'm assuming anyway. And those assumptions don't feel good. So if I'm going to make assumptions, if I'm going to make an ass of myself, I'd rather assume that things are really good. Because I'd rather be a happy ass than a miserable ass. So I choose to assume that things are wonderful. And the law of attraction teachers say that in order to manifest what I want, I need to feel the way I would feel if I had what I wanted. Which basically means I should assume that I have it. Assuming means taking it on. So assuming that things are wonderful means taking on the idea that things are wonderful. And that puts me into a wonderful vibration. So I'm assuming that things are wonderful. And even if so-called evidence shows up, suggesting that things aren't that great, even then I can assume that things are going on behind the scenes to have this work out in my favor. So even when there seems to be proof that things are bad, I can still make the choice to assume that things are working out for me. To assume also means to take on power, to take on responsibility. As if to say, I am assuming control over my life, and I choose to do that. And when I assume that things are wonderful, I am assuming control over my life in a very powerful way. And I deserve that. I deserve the good feelings that come with this. I deserve to assume that things are wonderful. I am assuming that things are working out for me. I am taking that on. And I'm allowing myself to love myself in body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath. And just assume that having done that has already made some powerful shifts inside of you that are moving you forward towards all the great things you deserve. Thanks for doing that.